All right, everybody. Mike Heck here, back answering another question of the day. This one comes following Khamzat Chimaev's lopsided middleweight championship win over Dricus du Plessis. In folk-style wrestling, there are rules about locked hands and certain moves that were implemented to keep matches from stalling out. Positional control, lay and pray, a la Khamzat's performance on Saturday becomes the new meta. What one rule change or scoring criteria could the unified rules implement to keep things exciting without unfairly punishing wrestlers? I appreciate the question. This type of thing, it's not new. It's not a new meta. It's just been kind of the meta for a long time. But the answer is there just isn't one. I know there's a lot of newer fans out there. And also I know there's a lot of influencers out there who the UFC partners up with, and they have fighters on their show. And then those influencers start cheering for that fighter. They throw out takes on social media, and the casual audience will just pounce on it. And they'll be like, hey, this is my take now too. And I'm not saying you are one of those, because I understand this question. And I bring up the newer fan base because this exact discussion, it's the same one we have been having for over 20 years. Khamzat Chimaev is hardly the first fighter to win a fight or win a championship by using dominant, demoralizing grappling. And he certainly will not be the last to do that. You remember a guy named Khabib Nurmagomedov? He was winning a lot of fights using dominant, demoralizing grappling. There have been so many great fighters who have had that reputation. And here's the thing with me. I was thoroughly impressed with what Khamzat Chimaev was able to do on Saturday. I also understand that it wasn't utterly entertaining. I get that. It wasn't fun, but it's the fight game. And it's been this way for so many years. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. It is your life. I also want to say, it's cliche, but it's true. It takes two to tango. So if you're giving Khamzat Chimaev a hard time for the fight and you didn't like it, you should be doing the same for Dricus du Plessis. The same thing happened at the start of every single round. 5-6 seconds in, takedown was shot and landed for the most part. And adjustments just weren't made. And take it from me, I thought this would be the fight of the year heading into it. It certainly was not that, but you can't just change the rules of fighting because the main event wasn't fun. And Mark Goddard, the referee, had a couple of super questionable stand-ups in the fight. He gave DDP some extra chances. I don't even have a huge issue with Mark Goddard's stand-ups, if we're being honest. At the end of the day, it is entertainment, but it's also sport. Sometimes the Super Bowl, it's a blowout and it's not that fun to watch. And sometimes we get the New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons in the comeback of the century. And as fight fans, sometimes we get Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. Sometimes we get Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Sometimes we get Yuri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira. We get Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. To quote the great Max Holloway, it is what it is. Thank you for the question. Submit yours to MMAfighting.com. Head to the feed, drop them in there. We'll see you tomorrow.